Testing, 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 testing. Welcome into Ron Thorne Stadium for tonight's matchup between the Bingham Miners and American Fork Cavemen. Hello, everyone. I'm JT Wistersill, ecstatic to be with you to kick off the 5th week of high school football in the state of Utah, and what a fun one we have for you tonight. Both 6A powerhouses on display here, as there's a ton of other great games across the state tonight, but here at Ron Thorne Stadium, we have a good one. Miners coming in 2-2, but a deceptive 2-2 as well, with those 2 losses coming to 2 of the premier teams in the state in the Corner Canyon Chargers, and as well as the Timpview Thunderbirds. That Thunderbirds loss occurring last Friday night. This American Fork team, they are undefeated on the season, a perfect 4-0. Those first 2 wins in dominant fashion. The latter 2 had to squeak out a little bit more, but against better teams. During week 3, they took on the West Panthers. West, another really strong team in the state, gave them all they had, but in the end, American Fork was able to pull away and get the win. And then going back to last week, they went up to Idaho for a week 4 out-of-state game and took on Rigby, who is, in terms of Idaho football, one of the premier powers in the state. We are just about ready to kick off this exciting matchup between the Bingham Miners, as we mentioned, led by head coach Eric Jones, as well as the American Fork Cavemen, led by Aaron Beeman. We'll start off with a touchback. The Cavemen won the toss. They elected to defer, and because of that, we'll see the Miners offense come out first. See quarterback Dallin Martinez, and the Miners make their way out. Martinez and Fotu, the powerful duo for this team that's looking to get back after it. As I mentioned, that loss to Timpview last Friday, 49-30, but one they were in almost the entire game. Bingham's first offensive snap of last Friday's game was unfortunately a fumble for them that the Thunderbirds returned to the end zone. They're looking to start on the right foot today. We'll get it going from the 20. They brought Fotu across. Martinez, he's going to take it on the first carry. Tries to go up inside until he's contained. Cavemen halts him for a minimal gain. On the tackle, Evan Agor. So Agar with the stop. This is a Miners team that has averaged on the season. They've scored 148 points, and they've given up 110 on the season. So still on the positive side of that because of those big wins earlier. They went out of state earlier this season and got a big win versus Bishop Monagi. As brought down after a first down run is Fotu. Havea Fotu, one of the best backs in the state. This Miners team loves to go with him up the gut, and he rewards them with a strong initial carry. His first touch out of the day. Goes for a first down as he weaves his way in and out of would-be tacklers. From the 30, 1st and 10. Martinez will bring Sudbury. Sudbury gets it on the sweep, trying to get the corner to the outside. And a nice run by Sudbury goes for a first down. Great stop made by Caleb Peterson. The junior defensive back coming down. Does a good job going low as he stifles Sudbury. Hunter Clegg leads a formidable Cavemen front. Clegg at the top of your screen along the front five. Run the front four as Fotu. It's going to be halted for no gain. Fotu stopped, and that actually wasn't a first down. So the previous sweep to Sudbury, I assumed it was for a first down, but come to later realize it was actually a gain of 9 on the previous one, and that one a gain of nothing. So we're going to have 3rd and short. It's the hard part with a player like Fotu. Talking with Coach Jones about him pregame. He's a tough guy because if you run at him, you risk that. If you run away from him, he can still chase you down from behind and make plays. We'll see how 3rd and 1 plays out here. Give it to Sudbury. Weaves his way to the outside. Tries to turn it back in. And is taken down. So Sudbury with 2 strong carries already today, both going for 9+ yards as the Miners cross midfield. This is a Miners team on the season that has scored at least a point in every quarter they've played. In the first quarter this season, so every first quarter they have scored, had 7 in week 1 in their win over Weeper, 21 in their week 2 win over Bishop Monogamy in Nevada, as well as 7-3 in the ensuing weeks. Sudbury gets it again, tries to get to the outside, and is taken out on the edge by Buig. So they're riding Sudbury early, and this is a Miners offensive line that's doing a great job here early. This is back-to-back weeks of tough opponents they have, too. Timpview and American Fork, 2 of the most formidable defensive lines you will come to face in the state. And when talking about the Cavemen as well, I mean, we already mentioned Hunter Clegg. Last week, Bingham had to deal with Ciale Acera. So not just 2 of the premier defensive line, 2 of the top players in the class of 2023 as well. Near jump off sides. Some trickery. Martinez gets it. Gives it to Fotu, who's dragged down off the trap. Phenomenal job by the left side of the Miners defensive line. Clegg, as well as Edwards in on the stop. And Andrews. Also remind you that American Fourth Football on KSL Sports Rewind is presented by Watts Automotive. 8:30 remaining, 3rd and 8 from the 42. Two slow, minimal gains on the last 2 runs for the Miners. They would look to give it again. Fotu gets it, trying to get to the outside, shifting his way, tries to give the stiff arm before he is dragged out of bounds. So Fotu gets it, and that will be a Miners first down. What a fantastic effort by Fotu and the Miners as well. It can always be tough to give it in 3rd and long situations, but when you have a potent rushing attack like Bingham does, you can get it done. Martinez with Carson Sudbury once again in the backfield. It's a crowded box, but Martinez will take it himself, trying to get to the edge, and another strong run for Bingham. Those runs to the left working perfectly. The inside of that box is packed with Cavemen, so the Miners trying to get to the outside and have done so successfully so far. Ball on the 22 now on an impressive opening drive for the Miners. As I mentioned last week, first drive of the game for Bingham, a fumble on that first play. This week, results are trending in the direction of a touchdown. Empty backfield for the first time today. Fotu still on the sideline. Martinez tries to get it outside. Quick, Sudbury once again taken out, but not before a solid gain. Andrews once again in on the stop. This will be 2nd and 4. Fotu will come back on. This is a Cavemen team that on the season have only allowed 42 points. They've scored 129, so we know what their offense can do. 2nd and 4, 7:25 remaining. Gave it up the gut to Fotu, who charges forward for a couple tough yards. So easy to lose the ball in this impressive Miners offense. So much misdirection going on. So it's going to be 3rd and 1. This team has already converted on 3rd and short and 3rd and long on this drive. We'll see if they can do so again here. You can see Fotu lined up just to the outside of the tight end at the top of your screen. Martinez once again under center. And Martinez going to charge forward. So the quarterback sneak works to perfection. This is a Miners team that some of their runs take a little bit to develop because of the misdirection, but they waste no time there as Martinez charges forward. So we have 1st and 8 from the 8 with 6:20 remaining. This first drive taken up nearly the entirety of the first half of our first quarter. Another give is contained by AF, but not after a strong push. Great extra effort by Fotu on that one. Looked like he was dead to rights, but kept the legs churning, found some open space, and was nearly in. So that's going to be 2nd and it looks like to be about 2. Mentioned this is the Cavemen team that has had some close wins on the season. Last 2 weeks, won by only a touchdown. Looking to not fall behind early. Avea Fotu. Not going to get it here because Martinez, he'll take it. No signal. He's in. Martinez in for the score on the QB sneak. Touchdown Miners. The Miners get it done on the ground. I believe there's only one pass through the air, but go 80 yards and into the end zone. A huge opening drive for Bingham. Offensive coordinator of the Miner, Fred Fernandez, has to love that. As Dallin Martinez punches it in. Kick is good by Cole. Fran come, and Bingham leads 7-0. You're watching KSL Sports Rewind.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Strong start for Bingham as they pull ahead 7-0. The Miners with the early lead. Bingham winless at home, but it's because of those opponents. Corner Canyon, Timpview, two of top 5 teams in the state coming through. So they have another opportunity. They actually have 4 straight home games because they're going to be home next week versus Harriman as well. Short kick is contained by American Fork. Little surprised to see them go with the pooch. But nonetheless, maybe thought they could keep the momentum going, but instead they'll give the Cavemen a short field. And this is a Cavemen team that's used multiple quarterbacks on the season, rotated both their guys in and out, that being Lincoln Jackson as well as Champion Edwards. Edwards looks to be getting the start tonight. Drive will start from the 34. Edwards drops back, looks all the way to Roberts and just overshoots him. Or excuse me, it's actually Jet Nelson, who's come on strong late in the season as the season has begun to get going. So incompletion as they overshoot Nelson. Be 2nd and 10. With just over 5 minutes remaining. Edwards. Dropping back. Checks it to the outside. And a nice gain on first down. As that one is caught by Dax Watts. So Watts gets it down the sideline. Good decision by Dylan Story. Excuse me, actually Dylan Story on the catch. So Story, the junior, with the first down pass. So it'll be 3rd and 5 after that completion on 2nd down. Give it once again. Strong carry by Watts, but he will be brought down. First decision of the day for the Cavemen. Looks like the punt unit will come on. So a strong opening start for the Miners defense as they keep the Cavemen in check. Fotu as well as McBride back to return. A couple late players come on for American Fork as they're set to punt it away from the 39. Fotu has a chance on it, gets it with a running start, trying to get to the outside and taken down, but there is a flag on the play. But great job by Peterson. While we wait to see what the flag is, we'll step away for a moment. You're watching KSL Sports Rewind.
College wasn't built for me.
It didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Test day's test day. Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
So back it up after the penalty on Bingham. Got a little aggressive on the return, but looking to jump out to a 14-0 lead, and they have a great opportunity to do so early. And also excited to be joined up here by Brian Brown. And Brian, you've already seen this Cavemen team this year. What are your thoughts on them?
Yeah, this is a very strong defensive team, with a lot of explosive athletes on offense. And so Bingham's going to have to do what they've done from the get-go and get ahead early, right?
Sudbury getting to the outside before he's taken down. We've seen them have success on those outside runs a couple times today, and this is also a Miners team we, of course, saw last week.
It is, and we saw that team last week get down early to Timpview and never able to recover. You can see that they're starting off strong. They want to get the ball going sideline to sideline, especially in the run game, and try and wear down this Caveman defense.
Already a touchdown for Bingham. They've overcome 2nd and long a couple times today. 2nd and 6 here. With Martinez. Giving it to Fotu. And he's dragged down. Hunter Clegg on the stop. And Hunter Clegg, the future Stanford Cardinal. What impresses you most about him?
Well, what impresses me most is the fact that he avoided me during the pregame hug. I'm a huge Hunter Clegg fan, but you'll see throughout the game, they'll move him around. He'll go from side to side in terms of that defensive end position. He'll drop back into the linebacker position. He is aggressive. He goes every play hard as he can, and he is a difference maker for this defense.
You can tell as well, not just a great defensive end, but a great athlete as well. You can tell based on that build, going to do big things for the future of the Cardinal program.
Yeah, and he's a perfect fit in terms of what they look for in an athlete.
See if he can make a play on 3rd and long, but not before Fred Fernandez opts to take a timeout for the Miners. We'll see what Bingham comes out with when we return on KSL Sports Rewind. Miners have had success early, 3:24 remaining in our first quarter. They face 3rd and 7. They ran it on 3rd and 8 earlier and got it, so everything on the table for Bingham. 3 receivers to the top. Empty backfield. You can see the safety blitz creeping down. Martinez has to get rid of it. He will somehow stays on his feet. Incredible effort spinning out of it, trying to buy time before he just has to get rid of it.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens here, JT, because it didn't look like he had a wide receiver in the area. You can see the officials are debating that right now. But tremendous effort by Martinez to escape what looked like a surefire sack. And there's a penalty flag, unfortunately, at the end of it. Just a great effort by him trying to make something happen there. But you can see where this, American Fork defense wants to attack. They want to pressure you. They want to push you back, and try and make you make those kinds of mistakes.
And that's exactly what they did, push him back and back and back. And I don't know if he saw the safety blitz coming. It looked like he did because he halted for a second, but held on to it for too long. An incredible play to get out of it as well. But unfortunately, because he was able to stay up, the sack actually might have been better because now you get hit with the intentional grounding penalty. Got to imagine American Fork is going to bring the house here as you see Bingham shift in their gunners to try to create that stronger protection. Because the last thing they need right now is a punt blocked out of the back of the end zone. Kick is away. And it'll be field. This is going to be fantastic position for American Fork. As squeezing up the middle for a nice return was Hunter Michaelis.
Yeah, you see Bingham very aware of the rush, right? Tries to kick the line drive kick. Unfortunately, the epitome of out-kicking your coverage as the guys don't have time to get down the field. American Fork able to get a good return, and now they're in excellent field position inside the 20-yard line with 3 minutes left here in the first quarter.
Yeah, such a tough break for a Bingham team that had all the momentum, getting that 3rd and long situation, and just one of those mistakes by Martinez that you hope to avoid. So just over 3 minutes remaining. Outstanding field position for the Cavemen. Story, he's got time. Looking to the end zone. Just overshoots Trey Roberts. And Roberts is another guy that is one of the top wide receivers in the state.
Yeah, explosive athlete, and you can kind of see why. He's downfield quickly, but Story standing in there at quarterback takes a shot, and you have to wonder, if this Bingham defense is going to try to continue that pressure. Edwards out there pretty well covered for the most part, ball overthrown. So we'll see what happens here on second down. But this Bingham defense, they're going to play aggressive tonight.
Dax Watts and Jacob Eaterly both in the backfield next to Story. Play clock dips under 10. Give it to Eaterly. Charges forward, but a strong stop by the Miners. And this Miners defensive line, they fight really hard. And that was the problem last week, is you're just going against Timpview, which basically has 5 guys who are going to be playing at the next level. Summit very highly at the next level as well. So I think that wasn't really a great showing for this defense last week, but it was just because of who they were playing.
Well, and there's a lot of respect that you have to play with Timpview because they have athletes at the quarterback position that they use exceptionally well. It freezes those defenders. When Bingham's able to pin back a little bit and just play freely without having to think, you can see how stout this defense is.
3rd and 8. The motion, Edwards out. Story tries to take off before he's dropped, but we do see some flags come in. Waiting to see what the call is. Brian, what did you see?
It looks like in the area of holding, coming from the back judge too, you have to think that there's either that or maybe illegal hands to the face. We'll see with the call here. Yeah, there's the hold. But it didn't really matter either way because Bingham had the rush on and did a great job.
They'll decline it as well.
Exactly.
Which makes sense. The question is, do you want to push him back and potentially it's going to force a longer field goal? But that way you don't risk a first down. So either way, still playing the odds. Do you like the decision to decline it?
I do. And you have to have some trust and some faith in your defense right here. They've had a great series so far. Give them an opportunity to make one more play and possibly get a special teams block. We saw last week Bingham was elite in special teams. We'll see how it works out today. And already, look, Cavemen have to take a timeout.
Yeah, Bingham elite in special teams. American Fork not off to an ideal start in that department. With 2:03 left, we'll see if they can make a play when we come back on KSL Sports Rewind.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Some Calvin going on out there?
Cavemen make their way back out. Had to burn a timeout on special teams, something you never want to see, but attempt the kick. So it'll be just over a 20-yarder. That one nearly blocked, but it's good. Big-time kick by American Fork. Putting that one through was Noah Anderson. Hanging in tough as well. Got a little bit of contact on the end.
Yeah, I have a feeling that we'll hear about that from colleague Moose Bingham at some point during next week. But you could see the rush. I think Bingham is very confident in what they can do up front today.
Brian, this is an interesting game as well because this feels like a really pivotal moment for both these teams. You know, the Cavemen, a great opportunity to be 5-0 going into the thick of region play, and as well as a Region 4 that is potent, but could suffer some losses tonight with Corner Canyon facing off against Lehigh, as well as Skyridge facing off against Timpview. So we've already talked about great games across the state. We know what's on stake for American Fork, and then you get Bingham as well. This is a team that's 2-2 right now. You don't want to be 2-3 going into region play either.
Yeah, and the hard part about it for Bingham is they played 2 of the 5 best teams in the state, exactly. And so it's you look at those 2 losses, and it's just, you know, if you're Bingham, you want to be with the best, right? But they were there for the most part in both of those games, fought back hard against Corner Canyon, and so this is one that I think they really feel like they can get.
This is going to be returnable for McBride. So he makes one defender miss, and then it gets engulfed. Big-time hit by the Cavemen.
Well, you can see that's the danger with going vertical when you're trying to avoid a defender, is that it allows the defense to catch up for you. He absorbs the contact well, but not a great return for Bingham. Great kick, very high, right to the 1-yard line. A lot of praise towards the American Fork kicker on that one. And Bingham will start out in the hole, but they're still in good shape. They've got the lead, and we've seen that this team with a first quarter lead can do a lot of good things.
James Snow was the man on the coverage unit laying the wood on that previous play. 150 remaining. Started from the 10, and you mentioned it. Phenomenal stand by the Miners defense to stop the Cavemen in the red zone. We'll see what Sudbury and the offense can do with it as he escapes to the outside. Another strong run by Sudbury, who through the first quarter leads them in rushing, which I don't think I would have had on my bingo card tonight, Brian.
Yeah, it's a definite change of pace. We saw Havea Fotu do very well last week, but Sudbury is an equally capable running back, just a different style, and I think that's what Bingham saw on film last week, is that if we can gash a little bit, if we can get some speed there, if we can get helmet on helmet in terms of the guys up front, we can gain some yards. And Bingham's a team that can get to third down and feel confident. They're very good on third downs.
Martinez gives it to Fotu. Actually, Martinez kept it, trying to get to the outside, charging forward before being dragged down from behind. That was a fantastic pursuit by Maximos Edwards.
Yeah, great job by Edwards there, chasing him down from behind. You can see the speed, but also a good job by Martinez to get up and get those chains moved for the first down. A nice little trickeration, as we like to see from Freddie Fernandez, a little fake there, and seeing him get outside, use that athleticism.
It's a credit to the Miners, because I feel like when I call Bingham games, I'm wrong when I call more than any other team who has the ball at one moment, because it is so difficult to keep track of. Sudbury, Fotu, Martinez kept it. This just is all that misdirection, and there's so many integrations that they have in this offense.
Not to mention the fact that there's a cow giving birth in the field across from us.
All things that are distracting. Fotu to the outside. Fotu's got green grass in front of him. He crosses the 50 before he's dragged down over midfield. Huge run for the Miners.
Well, and there it is right there. That's the veteran presence of a coach like Freddie Fernandez being here with Eric Jones' staff. He's been around the game. He knows to save your secret weapon for those times when you need it the most, and that's a big explosive play. We love explosive plays, JT.
Yes, we do. We saw Timpview they're the ones who had the explosive runs a week ago.
Yes.
That one, a huge one for the Miners, who look content just letting this quarter clock run out. They have all the momentum going into the second quarter. They lead 7-3 here at Ron Thorpe Stadium on KSL Sports Rewind.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes it easy.
Second quarter set to get underway here at the home of the Bingham Miners. This is a Bingham team that they got the opening kickoff, and from there, it's been all Bingham ever since. Drove all the way down the field, 80-yard drive, punched in by Martinez on the QB sneak, 3 and out for American Fork. Then Bingham nearly had to punt it out of the back of their own end zone, but from there, we'll see Martinez give it a take. Martinez trying to get to the outside and trips up over his own feet. And, we're seeing Martinez right now, but, Dylan's story for the Miners, kind of a surprise that he's been the man for them so far today, Brian.
Yeah, it's been Champion Edwards and Lincoln Jackson up until this point, and I need to apologize to Lincoln. I called him Luke on the broadcast last week. Subtle, listen, I can keep two teams at once.
Yeah.
3, 4, that's just too much. You never want to overload offensive linemen with too many schematics, but a guy who hasn't seen a ton of action this year. Interesting to see him get the start. You have to wonder if maybe there was an injury or something during the week.
Very well could have been. 2nd and 9. Sudbury gets it again and dragged down. Cavemen swarming to the ball. On the season, 1 game for Story, 9 yards. And this is going to be interesting to see what he's capable of doing. A guy who just his production over the years has seen action in 1 game, had 9 completions in that one. So 74 yards passing last year, 392 yards his junior year, 639 his sophomore year as well. So a guy who over the last 3 years has seen his production decrease as he's taken a lesser role. And But for tonight, for American Fork, has an opportunity to get a huge win to keep them undefeated.
Yeah, and if he can lead this offense and just be kind of a game manager, there are a lot of weapons on American Fork. As you see Martinez throw the ball to that open field.
Takes a hit. Is a flag on the play as well. And we'll see what the laundry is for. Brian, what did you see?
Yeah, this one's probably going to be a roughing the passer, I think, which is an interesting call because he's outside of the pocket. Yeah. He's no longer a defenseless player, right? Because he's outside the tackles. So I'm curious if maybe this one gets waved off. We'll see. They're consulting here at the midfield stripe.
And not like he was hit long after he delivered the ball as well. It was a quick hit. But looks like the penalty is going to stand, and you can already see Coach Bean standing with his arm crossed. Not a fan at all of that flag.
Yeah, and I can empathize with Coach Beam on that one. It's kind of like when I go to McDonald's and they say that there aren't any more fries. Like,
yeah.
You got to take it in stride.
If there's not any fries at McDonald's, then we got problems.
We got to move on.
Yeah. So a tough break for the Cavemen, and that's one we're looking at their day already. They already have the 3 and out, got marched on the first drive offensively. Then you get fantastic field position well inside the 30, and you can't do anything with it. Now you're going to get and then you're going to force a punt here, but get the penalty there. So just some tough breaks so far for the Cavemen.
It is, and this is a Bingham team that's very effective rushing the ball, and now they're in plus territory inside the 30-yard line here at the 29. That allows them to really control the football a lot more. They're not going to try – you would have to think that they're not going to try and throw it around. So less opportunity for American Fork to get a turnover.
That snap looked to be fumbled. Looked like the offensive line was not ready for the snap, but Martinez definitely took it. Or at least it was dropped, and then he just had to fall on it.
Yeah, definitely some miscommunication as you see multiple players on both sides jumping around up there. Looked like Martinez was able to recover it, but that's the kind of thing that's really going to disrupt both your rhythm on offense and just light the coaches on fire in terms of you can't have those kinds of mistakes.
Yeah, neither tackle even moved. So miscommunications for Bingham. There haven't been many so far today. It's been a pretty flawless game for them so far, but see what they can do on 2nd and 10 from the 29. Fotu and Sudbury once again in the backfield, but instead it's American Fork with another stop as they gave it to McBride.
And you can see how stout this American Fork defense is, especially in the interior. That's really what they're built on, is stopping the run up front. And you can see how good Hunter Clegg is, pushing the offensive line in tight, allowing those linebackers to really fit in there and stop the run.
So it's going to be 3rd and 9 officially. This is a Miners team. The last time they tried to pass on 3rd and long was an intentional grounding penalty and nearly resulted in a blocked punt. We'll see what they opt to do here. Sudbury Martinez nearly tripped up. Going to throw across his body. Wide open. McBride in the end zone for the touchdown. Hitting the thriller as well, Brian.
Well, you thought the throw was going to be the best part about that, and then he busts out the thriller celebration, but it's just a great job of Martinez rolling outside the pocket, waiting. He does throw against his body, but there's nobody there to catch the ball, and it's another pay dirt moment for this Bingham Minor football team.
Francom looking to make it a 11-point lead, and he will do so. Miners remain on top after the huge throw from Martinez.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Back here at Ron Thorne Stadium, where for the first time this season, American Fork trails by double figures, Brian.
A bit of a surprise to me, JT. Just this American Fork team really hasn't struggled early on all year. You're going to find out right now how they respond to adversity. Looks like so far so good.
Yeah, fantastic return to get this drive underway for a team that is in search of offensive momentum. Solid return there by Mason Hallman. Once again, Timpview, they threw the first punch last week, got out to that lead, and from there, Bingham was always playing catch-up. Now the rest of this game, they get to be the aggressor.
Yeah, and that's trouble for this American Fork offense. If they can't get a run game established here early on, and this Bingham defense is allowed to be aggressive, that could be a dangerous situation for them.
Story on the give, blockers in front of him. Drag down from behind, as taken that one was Eaterly.
Yeah, and this American Fork football team has a variety of ball carriers that can do something with the football. We saw Eardley there. He's very talented. You know, I've seen Lucas Segura earlier, who did a great job when I called the game against Weber. And they really need to get some rhythm going on this offensive side of the ball.
Dax Watts, another ball carrier for this team. So Cavemen like to give lots of guys opportunity. Going to see lined up in the slot as well, Josh Andrus. He's a guy to keep an eye on. The Cavemen face 2nd and 8. Story rolling out, pressure in his face, lofting it, but just too much on it.
Yeah, definitely one of those I'd like to have that one back throws as he's kind of thrown off the back foot, not very square on his platform. You know, we see Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen make those throws all the time. That's probably why they're in the NFL. And you know, you like these guys taking chances and opportunities, but at the same time, settle down just a little bit, deep breath, get on platform, send that strike.
Yeah, tough break, too, because, I mean, Peyton Reese was open and had a step, but that's just a tough delivery to make.
Yeah, tough situation to take a shot like that, too.
3rd and 8. We'll see if Story's able to hang stronger in the pocket. Miners rush 4, but instead, be a run for American Fork, and they get nothing.
Yeah, and you see the aggressiveness of the Bingham rush. Center snapped it a little bit early, a little bit off kilter, disrupted the whole mesh point between the quarterback and running back, and Bingham able to get a big loss on 3rd down. A really rough start for this American Fork offense.
I mean, it's an interesting situation there for Story as well. You know, not giving him an opportunity to make a play. Hasn't had the strongest day to start, but a run on 3rd and that long is odds aren't obviously in your favor, Brian.
Yeah, and that's, you know, a waste of a pretty good start in terms of field position. And now with the punt, it looks like that one's going to fall a little bit shorter and take a massive Bingham bounce.
But the reaction time there by, that number 23, Tyson Eggett as well. He's the guy who just saved maybe another 5-10 yards.
Yeah, I need to sign him up for my 2-3 zone because he's got some definitely shot blocking potential there.
Miners with an opportunity to really jump out to an early lead here. It's 14-3, already going. And you mentioned once again, it's the 2nd time today now they've squandered good field position. That one not as egregious, but still you're in that 20 to 30 yard line area. And the one before that, you were in that same area, but on the Bingham side of the field. So Cavemen have to figure things out offensively. One thing that would help their offense is if they're able to get a stop on defense. Martesans, motion Sudsbury across. Sudsbury, green grass in front, tries to cut it back in, and is dragged down from behind by Clegg.
Yeah, and the interesting part about that one, JT, Bingham trying to run away from Hunter Clegg. He actually chases the play down from behind. It's a great job by that left side of the defense to hold up those blockers and string the play out as much as possible. Now at this point, if you're American Fork, I mean, it's still a 4 or 5 yard gain, right? So you're 2nd and average right now, 2nd and Brown Bear. Gives you a lot of options in terms of your play call.
2nd and 6, just over 7 minutes remaining in our first half. Martinez, heavy offensive line to the left. They gave it up the gut to Fotu, and the Cavemen come ready once again. Did a great job taking the line of scrimmage there, Brian.
Yeah, and really, that's the hardest part about this American Fork defense. And you want to try and keep them honest. You see they're pulling the guard there, trying to get out in front, a little power action, maybe some confusing misdirection up front, but a well-coached front for American Fork stuffs the play. Now you're third and about 6, 3rd and about 7. But again, this is where Bingham excels, right? They're great on 3rd and 4th down.
Last time we saw him in 3rd and long, pretty nice touchdown.
It's okay.
Martinez fakes the give. He's got some time. Has a man open downfield. Just overshoots Sudbury.
Yeah, and I think Bingham's lucky that they didn't get called with a yellow hanky on that one, as Hunter Clegg was closing hard on Martinez, and it may have disrupted the throw just a little bit. He could feel him bearing down. Fourth down does look like to me that Bingham's going to go for this one, JT.
Interesting decision, but we've already saw them kind of do a pooch kick, as they will actually send on the punt team. But what you talked about, I assume that was exactly what Coach Beam was irate with the officials about.
Oh, absolutely. And that, luckily the pass goes incomplete if you're an American Fork fan, but at the same time, that's one of those things that you have to be aware of. And we've got all sorts of chaos out here for Bingham.
Our second timeout of the day, the second one used on special teams. Guys not in the right position on the field. Head coach of the Miners, Eric Jones, forced to burn a timeout. We'll take one as well on KSL Sports Rewind.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit that makes
Miners do opt to punt. So American Fork's going to get another opportunity here. What do you expect the Cavemen to try to do to jumpstart something on offense, Brian?
It goes with the ground game, right? Especially where they're not going to have great field position. Maybe you try to take a shot early on. Bad snap there from Bingham. This is a problem.
It is a problem indeed, because no matter what, the Cavemen are going to get it at about the 36, we'll call it. So the 37 they'll start their drive from after the spot officially, and disaster strikes for the Miners.
Yeah, and as disaster strikes, you see that the Superman for the American Fork Cavemen, Hunter Clegg, right there to recover that ball. It's just, Ron McBride used to say that 3 things can happen on a punt and 2 of them are bad, and we just saw one of them right there for Bingham. It's a critical mistake, as now you give American Fork great field position with an opportunity to equalize the scoreboard a little bit.
All the momentum in the favor of the Miners. The Cavemen with an opportunity here to close the 14-3 gap. Dylan Story gives it. Watts charges ahead. Solid gain on first.
Yeah, and you do need to get this ground game established if you're American Fork. You have to wear down this Bingham front. It is a very talented front. They do have some depth up there, but you're seeing guys start to get hands on hips a little bit as this is their 3rd series out there.
Miners trying to use the tempo. Look to the sideline with Watts. Three receivers to the bottom of your screen. One of those being Trey Roberts. And we'll see. That's where Story looks. Story feeling the pressure. Tried to get it away instead. I believe that was a fumble. So a near strip sack opportunity. Instead, the ball will roll out of bounds. Phenomenal pressure by
Ben Latai there, number 15, coming from the backside. And he's a guy that the coaching staff has told us that they were huge fans of coming into the season. A senior, a guy they consider a leader. Great play by Ben Latai there.
Ben Latai gets the edge on the American Fork left tackle and creates a monster play. And, it just doesn't feel like Story's really comfortable in the pocket. Taking a long time to get rid of the ball. We'll see what he tries to do on 3rd and 19. Get to the outside. Green grass was there for a moment, but quickly engulfed by the Miners as they drag down Segura for the loss.
Yeah, and you see the clearing routes there for American Fork trying to create some space. Let Segura get out there. He's a big, strong back. You see him get some vertical a little bit, just not able to outrun the Bingham tacklers on that one. Now it's 4th and long. It looks like American Fork's going to go for this one at about the 40-yard line of the Bingham Miners.
Interesting decision not to try to pin him down. Offense has struggled a little bit early, but this time they'll opt for the trust on 4th and 13. Story got some time. He's lofting it up, trying to give his man a chance, and just overshoots him.
Yeah, just not a lot of touch on that ball for Story. You want to try and get him into the rhythm somehow. You're going to end up getting a turnover on downs, trying to depend on your defense to make something happen here if you're American Fork. Just a very, very tough series for that Caveman offense.
That is twice now they've been gifted those momentum-shifting plays, whether it was the short punt in the field position they got inside the 30 in the first quarter, and then the blocked, not even a blocked punt, just a muff punt that gave them another opportunity and can't do anything with it.
Disaster missed there by Bingham as well, as that's one of those critical moments where you don't want to commit a mistake, but the defense able to hold strong for them.
Miners making the winning plays early. They lead 14-3 because of it. Martinez alone to his QB draw. Martinez dragged down for a gain of 8.
Yeah, nice call there from Freddie Fernandez. Is they QB draw, trying to catch the defense off guard a little bit. Big gain on first down, get you close to that 50-yard line.
We haven't seen them throw the ball on first down yet, and it looked like they fielded American Fork that they were going to do so there. Instead, beautiful executed draw, and they set up in the same look again. This is a Cavemen team. Last year had Noah Moyaki, one of the best linebackers in the state. This year he's not in there to make those plays. As the tackle's made from behind by the Cavemen. Good job by Dylan Walker. Or check that, Drew Dickey actually on the stop.
Yeah, great job by Dickey there to hold up the blockers. That's a lot of beef coming at him. So if he was in the line at McDonald's, he'd be sending out those Big Macs left and right. Not only does he hold up the offensive line, but he also gets in there and makes the tackle.
3rd and 1, 3:30 remaining in our first half here at Ron Thorne Stadium. Martinez gives it to Fotu. Fotu easily has the first down.
A lot of weapons on this Bingham offense, and you can see when you're using Fotu as your change of pace back, it has a massive impact, especially against this American Fork defense. These guys have been out on the field a long time already in this first half, trying to find anything right now if you're American Fork to stop this Bingham offense.
Yeah, American Fork held to only 3 points as of this point. It would be by far their lowest point total of a first half on the season, as we see Fotu bounce off a couple would-be tacklers before he's finally dragged down. Great effort by Davis Andrews.
Yeah, and you see that American Fork walking their safeties down a little bit closer, trying to get up and press, especially against that heavy, tight front from Bingham.
Balance for the Miners here as well. As you see Coach Fernandez in the offense, they're taking time getting their plays in, but especially if you just want to run the ball every play, it's hard to get in the end zone doing that in 2:45, Brian.
Yeah, and really what you're hoping here if you're Bingham is that you can kind of keep chopping at this American Fork defensive front and maybe get someone to commit a mistake.
Cavemen able to contain another short run, that time getting the ball was Fua. 4th ball carrier now we've seen for the Miners, 5th if you include Martinez as well, as they're keep trying to keep some legs fresh.
Yeah, and you're seeing up front they're trying to do a lot of misdirection on the offensive line, and you're a good job there by American Fork, especially again my guy Hunter Clegg to disrupt the whole process. You know, I call offensive line play a choreographed ballet of physicality. That was a bad choreography on that play.
2 minutes remaining. Martinez alone in the backfield. Cavemen will get the ball to start the second half. Martinez delivers a high ball as he just misses Sudsbury.
Yeah, good pressure there from this American Fork defense. And you saw number 24 there, Evan Igor, sneaking in there, providing that pressure. And it looks like Bingham's going to punt again. And this one, JT, now all of a sudden every single punt for Bingham is an adventure, right?
Yes. Yeah, we already saw the last one played out, and this is a great opportunity for the Cavemen to get a strong return. 1:50 with 2 timeouts left is a lot of time, and this is a Cavemen team that gets the ball to start the second half as well. So despite the first half not going their way at all, Cavemen still very much in this one. Great punt. Takes a bounce. Too deep in the end zone. So Cavemen will start it on the 20. They haven't had success through the air yet. How do you think they'll try to get Story settled in, but knowing as well that, hey, we got 1:41, we got to go?
Well, you've got some playmakers out there, right? We haven't seen any action to the tight end, so maybe some shorter stuff for Dylan Story. We've seen him have success throwing to the sideline a little bit and letting guys like Segura get out there and cause some action. So you want to show get him some confidence, some of those shorter throws, and build up to where he can throw, maybe take a shot deeper.
As soon as I did it, it's downloading clips. I'm like, how in the world?
Ben Latai, top of your screen, already has a sack today. Strip sack. That wasn't a fumble, unfortunately, because it bounced out of bounds, but still a huge momentum shifter. Story steps up in the pocket and will be engulfed. It's actually not Story, as Lincoln Jackson now back out. So interesting that now we see Jackson in this one, Brian.
Yeah, a very interesting situation there for American Fork at the at the quarterback position. But again, Lincoln Jackson running into our good friend Ben Latai there, making another great play.
Jackson looks Roberts' way to the outside, jump ball. And that's going to be pass interference. See the whistles come in. What did you think of the call, Brian?
Yeah, it's an interesting call. It's a jump ball there. We see Roberts go up for it. I didn't see as much contact as maybe the official did, but that's the benefit of having a guy like Roberts on your roster, right? You can throw those balls, and Lincoln Jackson has a very capable live arm for that kind of throw.
Bo Hamilton, the guilty party, on the penalty. Once again, American Fork Football on KSL Sports Rewind is presented by Watts Automotive. Just over a minute remaining. First time today we've seen Lincoln Jackson. Once again, was not communicated to us if there was an injury or what exactly the reason was. He did not get the start. Looked to the outside and it was nearly intercepted as Bo Hamilton, the guilty party, on the pass interference. A play ago, nearly had a pick six.
Yeah, looking for Segura there out in the flat a little bit, just a little high. You kind of figure with Lincoln Jackson coming in off the bench, not having getting any reps, that he'll settle down eventually, but what an opportunity for Bingham missed there.
Lincoln rolling out, rips one, it is picked! Miners with the interception. Bingham dominating.
Not sure what the miscommunication there was. The receiver vacates the area. Jackson expecting him to be there, throws a strike right to the Bingham defender. That's a huge turnover right before the half. We're seeing a lot of fire right now from this Bingham Miner defense.
Nothing going American Fork's way in this first quarter. Have the one field goal, but still. And once again, this is another opportunity now, so 57 seconds left. One timeout remaining, and you know American Fork's going to get the ball to come out of the second half. So it's a great opportunity to do something, because if American Fork is able to get their act together in the second half and you can't score here, you're talking about a 4-point game.
Yeah, and you see that Bingham comes out with the near bomber set 4 wide, looking to make a statement.
See if they can get it done through the air. Martinez has time in the pocket, throws it up, and it's almost caught by Sudbury. Originally tipped. That was Edwards. Wow.
Do not watch the replay of that if you have a heart condition, JT, because there's a million things going on. Hunter Clegg bearing down on the backside. Martinez throws the ball up, gets tipped, almost reeled in by the wide receiver, and all of that just for an incompletion, and now we're back to 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10, and as you mentioned, Brian, an eventful one indeed. Miners try to take to the skies, and first it was nearly intercepted, then it was nearly a Rewind Top 5 play of the week. It's amazing how the game of football can turn in a matter of moments. Martinez looks for the quick pass to the outside, gets it away to the only one in the area there was his right tackle, actually, who looked like he was ready. Hey, I don't know. Findley looks like he was ready to do something when he got it, Brian.
Yeah, that's every lineman's dream, but you have to wonder what's going through Martinez's head there, right there. I don't know if there was a receiver in the area necessarily, and you see the white hat having a bit of a conversation. That's where this American Fork defense is so strong, right? When they get pressure on the pocket.
Now, what's interesting is Findley did just check out, so you do wonder, did he report as eligible, and was actually the throw designed to go to him potentially?
We see a penalty flag on the field, late call on the
intentional grounding is the call.
Thank you, JT. As I'm over here just trying to visions of left tackles dancing in my head, catching touchdown passes.
Interesting they didn't pull Findley out, though. So do you think that was actually supposed to go to him?
Well, it very well could have been, and unfortunately we don't have a microphone like you do in the NFL or college level when a ineligible number reports as an eligible receiver.
Happy birthday chance break out as the Miners have to be ecstatic with how this first half has played out. Miners not satisfied, though. Martinez going to take a shot, rips one down the field. There is no one home but Cavemen, and it's picked. Screeching down the sideline is Peterson. Peterson, blockers in front of him, crosses the 40. What an eventful final minute, Brian.
Wow, JT, and now we've got 2 flags up as chaos erupts on the sideline, it looks like, with the celebration. We'll see what these flags were for, but again, Hunter Clegg, the explosive get-off, barrels around 2 Bingham offensive blockers, puts the pressure on Martinez. Martinez throws the ball up high. American Fork able to reel in the turnover, put themselves into a good position here to try and get some points on the board before the half.
Feels like deja vu, Brian. We were just talking about, a minute and a half with 2 timeouts left. That's a lot of time to do something. You know what else is? 27 seconds with obviously get a first down every time the clock stops when the chains move, as well as 2 timeouts. And that's officially, because of those penalties that came in, that's going to be down to the 21.
Yeah, and you see Lincoln Jackson come back out now with a series under his belt, settled down a little bit. It'll be fascinating to see what he does with just 20 yards to work with.
Roberts at the bottom of the screen. You see the safety cheating over. Jackson looking his way for a moment and then tried to rifle one over the middle. Nearly picked. And you see protests coming on from the Cavemen sideline. Looked like they wanted a little bit of interference there.
And you can see the arm strength by Jackson there, trying to force that one into the middle. He's got a lot of weapons to choose from. With only about 22 seconds left, I don't expect the Cavemen to run the ball here. So we'll definitely see another pass play.
Protection holds up momentarily. Jackson going to take off before he's drilled. You can see Coach Beam on the sideline, calling the timeout instantly. 14.6 seconds left. And look, when you're just dropping down, and if you're going to throw it every play, I mean, that's at least 3, potentially even 4 plays, depending on how quick the passes are, Brian. So still a lot of time, and with a timeout.
Yeah, and you see American Fork going with some deeper routes. They're kind of an interesting choice, I would say, where you only have 20 yards to operate with, and like you mentioned, JT, throw some short routes, maybe try to get to the sideline a little bit, and maybe it's just that Jackson feels more comfortable throwing over the middle than he does to the sideline, especially where they're on the far hash mark right now for American Fork.
Look at Jacob Nelson, guys like Jace Hall as well. We've got, of course, Roberts, Andrus, a loaded group of pass catchers for the Cavemen, and they've been held without a catch in this first half, but all it takes is crossing that goal line to make a play, and Cavemen still have an opportunity to do so here as they'll come back out. Do you expect them to continue to look for those end zone shots, or maybe instead opt for just to get behind the sticks?
Well, you're third and long here with about 14 seconds left, so I would say that they're for sure going to look for the end zone, if not the first down.
Jackson, clean pocket. Just an inaccurate throw as he overshot Michaelis there.
Yeah, it looks like he might have gotten disrupted on the route a little bit, and you see American Fork is going to go with a safe play here, field goal attempt. A bit of a wasted opportunity, in my opinion, JT. You're there on the 20-yard line. Just miscues over and over for this American Fork offense right now.
Jace Hole was actually the intended target on that previous play. See what the field goal brings for the Cavemen. It's no good. Nothing goes the Cavemen's way in this first half. They've been given break after break by Bingham, but just can't capitalize.
Yeah, and your heart just breaks for this American Fork football team. They've been so great all year long, and just early adversity, and the response has just been seemingly outside of their control, JT, as everything that can go wrong has.
We don't know why Lincoln Jackson didn't start the game, and Dylan Story came in, tried to do some things, but I mean, it's also been credit to this Miners team that's been getting some pressure as well and making plays. I mean, been talking a little bit about the job they've been doing, then you see some communication for Bingham, but
yeah, and this is a Bingham football team that went up against one of the best fronts in the state, if not the best, in Timpview last week, and they did a decent job of getting to the quarterback at times, and so you knew that they were going to come in with some confidence, and you knew the game plan for sure was going to be on point.
Fotu actually gets it. A strong opening run by Fotu. Thought they would just take a knee, but Bingham's like, we've had success all game. Why would we just take a knee and concede? Martinez jogs off a little bit hobbled, so something to watch as we go into the second half. But 14-13, Brian, what are your thoughts?
Well, a really surprising game so far, JT, as Bingham takes the early lead and then just builds upon it. We never saw a really dominant response from the American Fort Cavemen offense. Now, the defense left out to dry a couple times, did some great things, caused a couple turnovers. A lot to clean up for both of these teams going into halftime.
A lot to clean up because, as you mentioned, I mean, everything that went wrong pretty much could go wrong for the Cavemen, and yet they only trailed by 11.
Yeah, and that's really the story of this game. But right now, if you're going based strictly off vibes, which I know that's the big thing with the kids in the neighborhood these days, JT, the vibes are all with Bingham right now. That's the team that's got the fire, the enthusiasm, the passion. So if you're American Fork, you got to get in there. Where's your heart? Find your heart a little bit and come out and see what you can do in the second half. If you're Bingham, you got that heart and you've shown it. Now fix the obvious mistakes and try and build on that lead.
The vibes are immaculate for the Miners as they lead 14-3. As we head into the half, just under 14 minutes remaining, you're watching KSL Sports Rewind. We'll be back with you for second half action on KSL Sports Rewind. Welcome back inside to Ron Thorne Stadium. JT Wistersill and Brian Brown with you as the Bingham Miners have gotten off to a fantastic start, leading the American Fork Cavemen 14-3. Cavemen came in undefeated, but first half did not go their way, but yet they still only trail by 11 in what realistically could have been a 20-point first half.
Yeah, and credit to American Fork. Multiple opportunities for the Bingham Miners were stopped by that American Fork defense. And you have to give a ton of credit to Hunter Clegg, who put a ton of pressure on Martinez, forced some bad throws, some throws that he would like to get back, right? But now we need to see this American Fork offense come out and really start cooking, JT. Otherwise, this thing could get out of control quickly.
Yeah, and it's one of those things I talked with Coach Jones before the game about how you slow a guy like Hunter Clegg. And it's like, well, you try to double in and do some things, but great players are going to make plays. It's like why Aaron Donald still ends up leading the league in sacks most of the years, right? Just great players are going to do those things. That's why we've seen Hunter Clegg be effective, especially late in that first half, really able to hold the Cavemen in check.
Yeah, and while Clegg didn't come away with any sacks necessarily, it was the pressure that he put on the pocket that caused all the miscues. And if you're Bingham, you really want to come out and you want to stop this American Fork offense early. You want to use that aggressive front to prevent them from getting yards in the run game and force them to pass, as we haven't seen any kind of rhythm or any kind of consistency out of the pass game for American Fork yet.
Saw Dylan Story in the first half, and he wasn't able to get into a rhythm quite. So then we see Lincoln Jackson come in. Still not entirely sure why Jackson didn't start the game, but Jackson also struggling to find a rhythm a little bit, and that's also a credit to, we talked about Hunter Clegg, but how about the defensive line of the Miners as well? They've been doing an outstanding job, led by Latiai.
Yeah, and Latiai been the kind of guy that we've expected to see all season long, just causing chaos and havoc as Bingham kicks that one out of bounds. Very uncharacteristic effort from this Bingham special team, which was so special last week.
That was one thing we did see, though, both games now, as we're 1.5 games basically through our time here at Ron Thorne Stadium, is that there's been a lot of laundry, Brian.
There has, and you either hate to see it if you're a fan watching at home and it's going against your team, or you love to see it if it's going in favor of your team. Or if you're like me, you just say, stuff those hankies in your pocket and leave them there till the end of the game.
We're going to have our third different quarterback already for Bingham today, as it is. So Champion Edwards now in the game. So Edwards now on. He was the guy we expected to start. But Edwards gets the opportunity, the senior, 4 different high schools throughout his career, trying to make a play and help the Cavemen come back here. Give it on first down. Solid first run as Watts gets the edge.
Yeah, and that's really what's been missing from this American Fork offense is some production on the outside. And seeing Champion Edwards back there at quarterback, good to see him out there performing. He does add a very different dimension to this American Fork offense, as he is an excellent ball carrier as well.
This is a Miners team, too, Cavemen team, that's had a lot of success in third quarters, scored 17 in the first game. Then their last 2 scored at least a touchdown in each. They'll give it once again to Watts, who is dropped just short of the first down and actually may have it depending on the spot.
And good to see Watts getting some carries here early on. You know, that is the one downside to having so many guys in the backfield that you can use, is sometimes you don't get everybody involved early on.
So Cavemen get the first down. Haven't seen Edwards dish it out yet. Andrus without a target on the game. Roberts has yet to haul in a catch, but did have the pass interference that gave American Fork a little bit of life. Edwards looking one way all the way and just overshot. And we're going to see a flag come in. Hamilton gets hit with his second penalty of the day, if that is on him.
Yeah, a big throw there from Champion Edwards, trying to find his receiver deep. Looking over here on the field side of things, American Fork trying to set up the fake wide receiver screen, almost like they're trying to catch that defender sleeping from Bingham, able to move the chains via yellow flag rather than actual completion. Either way, it means a first down for American Fork.
So Aiden Cage, the receiver who drew the flag, and Bo Hamilton, well, as I mentioned, his second one on the game. But, you know, both of those, like, in position, very debatable calls as well, so expect him to continue to fight.
Yeah, hard for us to see from our vantage point on that far sideline as well. But Bingham's still going with the press coverage there on that boundary side.
Edwards to the outside. Champion squeezes forward. shows off the shiftiness, gets to the outside once again. That could be a touchdown. Look at the speed of Champion, running like a champion, Brian.
Well, that's a true victory run there for Champion Edwards. As you see, he goes into the boundary side of the field, a few nifty moves, has some blockers down in front of him, almost loses his footing, and then sprints to the end zone. You can see the athleticism and the talent, and it's an instant spark for this American Fork offense.
Champion Edwards with the wheels. Incredible shiftiness from the senior quarterback, and just like that, we're just over a minute actually into the start of this game, and the Cavemen now trailed by just 3 on KSL Sports Rewind.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
We have a ball game. Not even 2 minutes into the second half, and the Cavemen finally have offensive success thanks to Champion Edwards coming in and stabilizing the quarterback position. The third quarterback to come on today for American Fork, as it was the first time we had seen Edwards. Cavemen will charge forward, as this one will be returnable for McBride. McBride already a touchdown on the day. Trying to get to the outside, does have the edge. He'll cross the 20 before he's finally taken out at the legs.
And ran out of room as he heads to the sideline there. Respectable job by the American Fork coverage team. He covered a lot of ground trying to get to the outside there.
So Bingham had a fantastic first drive in the first half, went right down the field, scored, and weren't able to find the end zone. Actually found the end zone one more time after that, as they had a beautiful pass up to McBride. We'll see what Martinez can do. As you see that potent offensive line and tight ends of the Miners. Fotu squeezes out of it, nearly broke that one, Brian.
Yeah, you see the leg drive there from Fotu, just keep churning, almost like we tell the offensive line, keep churning that butter, and he just hides behind those big hog mollies, able to move the sticks. If not for a valiant effort there by the American Fork defender, that might have been pay dirt for the Miners. Caleb Peterson there, number 7.
Yeah, and he's the one, he already has an interception in the game as well. He's made a couple touchdown saving plays, a complete defensive back on this team. Fotu gets it again. And once again, gets a couple more than he probably should have, but dumped behind the line.
Yeah, you see again number 9 flashing on your screen there, causing Fotu to try and bounce it outside right into the waiting arms of several American Fork defenders.
It's a balance, right? You want to establish the run and be dominant, but it's hard for your offensive line, play after play, to get that push and get that momentum. So we'll see if the Miners are able to keep it up, as looks like another battle in the trenches set to ensue. They give it to McBride. McBride met just short of the first down marker as he runs inside.
Yeah, the good gain there on 2nd and long for the Bingham Miners. Not able to get the same amount of push up front, but you're seeing guys like Waki Fulilangi for American Fork trying to fight there against this big Bingham offensive line. And this is an offensive line that had a really tough task last week against Timpview, came out in the second half, able to establish the run a little bit against a very good defensive front there as well.
8:50 remaining. Martinez on 3rd and short. Miners were extremely effective here early. And they'll get another one as Martinez gets just enough.
A good effort there from Martinez on the quarterback sneak. Able just to hide behind big number 62 there, the left guard, and sneak it across the 50-yard line. As Bingham now in plus territory, first down from the 49.
Sonosi Buha able to help the Miners move the chains with the fantastic block, as you highlighted, Brian. Now, this is Miners football, right? Control the clock, get it done on the ground, and we're seeing Coach Jones and Fernandez's game plan go into force so far to begin this second half. But false starts do hurt that.
Yeah, gotta hold your water there in the offensive line. It's one of those situations where you like seeing the player being aggressive, right? Trying to get into the teeth of this American Fork defense, but just deep breath, let that one go, play for the next play.
So that becomes 1st and 15 now off the first down. Sudbury and Fotu once again in the backfield. McBride going to give it 2 as McBride will run across the 50 for being dragged down, but got almost all the penalty yardage back and then some off a strong first down run.
Yeah, the old school wing T looked like a reverse play there, and then sneaking old number 62, Sonasi Pua out there. Great job by Boha to kind of give a little bit of wall and allow McBride to really get outside.
I mean, the biggest thing you want is a push from your offensive line, right? But when you add tight ends on top of it as well and get basically 7 guys with their hands in the ground, it's difficult to stop. Sudbury charges ahead for the first down.
Yeah, and we're starting to see some real aggression up front as this American Fork defensive line trying to push back, but Sudbury so good at finding those creases and using that quick burst to get to the second level.
The best defense can sometimes be a strong offense. We saw how quickly Edwards marched his team down the field, and now we're seeing the Miners control the clock. That touchdown for American Fork was about 10:38. Now over 3 minutes into this Miners drive, and they are doing a fantastic job moving it. Martinez in the gun. He'll drop back, looking McBride's way, all the way, giving him an opportunity to make a play. It's popped up and picked off, but there's a flag. We'll see if it stands, but at the moment, a return opportunity for American Fork as Andrews takes it up the sideline. We see even more flags come in, so just a cluster right now as Andrews looks to finally be dragged down. And Brian, there's a lot that just happened.
Yeah, I wish somebody could cue the Benny Hill music as that one. Is that the first flag, and now we get another flag here late. I'm glad that I don't have to deal with all that mess. We'll let the guys in the striped shirts handle all that. But Martinez trying to find a receiver deep. You see the defender locked up, bit of contact, doesn't get the head around, able to tip the ball. And then we see everything just kind of unfold from there, JT.
Yeah, if there was going to be a soundtrack on that play, it would be that 6:57 to go as they have a lot to sort out. As if they could, they'd probably send this one to Secaucus. But unfortunately, they have to fix it amongst themselves.
We have the capabilities.
So the way I saw it, at least, Brian, was I believe it's going to be pass interference. But then you have a bunch of other penalties that ensued on the return. So how are those going to play into what we expected at pass interference?
Well, that's going to be the interesting part about it because you're essentially going to have offsetting penalties and then whatever happened after the dead ball, right? Because it is during the course of the play. The other thing, too, JT, is are all these penalties against American Fork or are some against Bingham? We'll leave it up to the officials to resolve all that. The interesting thing for me, big throw on first down from Bingham. They're trying to attack this American Fork defense and have to wonder how American Fork responds. We saw the offense come out with Champion Edwards, march down the field, big explosive play, Champion using his legs to power them into the end zone. Is that motivating Bingham to try and take a little more chance here?
Looks like we're going to get a resolution here in a moment. Coach Jones talking things over with his staff. American Fork talking it over with theirs as well. We'll see what the explanation to all of that is. Appreciate all of you, though, for joining us on KSL Sports Rewind. As there's a ton of great games across the state. Dusty Lister has you on the call for the Red Zone channel, as well as we have teams all over the state bringing you fantastic games. As we got a nice little orange creamsicle moon poking out tonight, Brian.
Yeah. Shout out to Idaho for smoking them since they got them up there. Little Idaho smoke action, giving us that October feel here in September.
All right, here we go. Pass interference is the call. Then we have a personal foul.
Looks like a chop block.
Yeah.
Those penalties will offset.
Is that what chop block is? If you punch two fists together? I thought chop block was you slash
right,
like
you're
a
right.
chop, like karate.
So it looks like we have offsetting penalties for the most part, and we'll replay the down.
Yeah, that's all that matters is all that confusion out of the way.
What matters is the memories we've made along the way, JT.
I was going to say, I need to be like Michael Scott there. Why don't you explain to me like I'm 5, basically? Martinez on 1st and 10 after all of that. He's going to keep it, cuts it back. A lot of Cavemen swarm in and drop him.
Yeah, Martinez able to find the hole. There was a lot of Caveman defenders there in the backfield. Part of the confusion with misdirection, especially if you get a run blitz or a slant or any kind of action from the defensive front with American Fork, it really disrupts the big guys up front because people are not in the spots that they expect them to be in.
Coach Beam has to like the efforts he's seen from his defense, the defensive coordinator for the Cavemen, Nate Cummings. Seen him on a couple of times being active on the sideline. Sudbury squeaks through. Not going to get the first down, so we're going to have 3rd and short once again. It's a territory the Cavemen have had a difficulty stopping so far as the Miners just seem to get whatever they want on it, Brian.
Yeah, and this Miner offense, we've talked about it, JT, has been really excellent in the run game all year long. We saw it even against a stout defense like Timpview. They were able to move the football, just never able to finish drives, right? And I think that's been the biggest difference for them tonight. They've been able to finish drives with touchdowns, not field goals, and that's been a big game changer for them.
3rd and 2 from the 29 with just under 5:45 remaining. Martinez gives it. Fotu bounces it to the outside. First down, Bingham.
And it's interesting, Bingham started out with Sudbury carrying the ball, now switching up a little bit more to Fotu, and you can see just the leg drive, the strength, the agility from Fotu. It's one reason why I think he's one of my favorite running backs in the state.
There's so many talented running backs in this state, and we talked about, we saw Micah
right?
Beckstead,
Yeah.
Amini Amone, just loaded all across the state, and we're getting to watch one of the best ones in Fotu tonight go to work.
Yeah, one of the great parts about working this job, JT, you see so many talented players across the state.
Martinez, he's got a lot of protection. Instead, it's just going to be another run as he is swung down. Fantastic tackle by the Cavemen.
Yeah, QB draw there. A little bit of a risky call there on first down, just simply because you know that this American Fork defense is getting more and more aggressive as you march closer to the end zone for Bingham there at the 26-yard line. And now you're in 2nd and long, right? And we've seen American Fork's been able to put pressure on the pocket in passing situations.
Skoy on the stop for the Cavemen. Talked about 2nd and 12.
Fotu and Sudbury there in the backfield, too.
Something we've seen a lot today. Martinez holds on to it, tries to get it across the middle, and will. Nice diving catch made by McBride, who's been active today. Or, excuse me, Maddox Peck, actually on the reception. It's actually, and that's the thing, you have 2 number 4. So Peck has actually been the one who's been active on most of those balls today. Great effort by Peck.
And Peck is a guy that we've seen really have a great year so far this year, and good to see him getting out there, helping this Bingham offense move the ball.
Martinez gives it again to Sudbury, trying to get to the edge. He'll cut back in and is dragged down. Give the Miners credit, right? Coach Fernandez is stuck to the run. It doesn't matter, 1 yard gain, 2 yard gain. They know eventually they're going to break something, find their opportunity. And also, they've gone to the pass whenever they've needed to as well. As we saw that nice completion to Peck a moment ago from Martinez.
For sure. And we're seeing this Bingham offense churn up clock here in the 3rd quarter as they look to put the ball into the end zone, trying to counter that touchdown from Champion Edwards earlier.
Miners in the hunt for their first win of September. Sudbury makes a few defenders miss before the Cavemen converge on him like he's fire.
Yeah, and you see the effort there from American Fork, just not able to come in quite under proper technique and make the tackle there initially, but able to slow down the runner. That, earlier in the game, that was an 8-10 yard gain.
One thing we don't do is we don't track plays right now. I mean, this could very well be a 20-play drive right now, Brian.
Yeah,
well, exactly. Maybe 20 is a little high, but at least 15, right?
Yeah, well, and a very interesting turning point in this drive. Bingham could have put the hammer down with, if they complete that pass rather than the pass interference call, right? But instead, you get another 6-8 plays out of it. And unfortunately, Bingham's going to have to take a timeout as they broke the huddle with too many guys.
Too many guys on the field. Take a timeout so the penalty does not yield. We'll step away on KSL Sports Rewind.
At UCCU, we'll provide you with a low-rate line of credit.
Minor student section is fired up, and why wouldn't they be with a great game brewing here at Ron Thorne Stadium, where the Bingham Miners and American Fork Cavemen are ensuing in a great matchup. The Cavemen, led by Champion Edwards, led them down the field less than 2 minutes even into the half, and since then, it's just been Miners, literally all the way down the field. There's only been 2 possessions each, and Bingham's going to have an opportunity to punch it in here on 2nd and 6.
And it's a shame they can't use the mascot to act as a fullback out there, JT. What was it, about 7'2", 420 pounds?
Man's on the John Cena diet, only we can't see him. Martinez looking to Peck. Peck adjusts, unable to make the catch.
A tough one there for Peck. He's got the defender in his face. Defender doesn't quite get around in time and just not able to reel the ball in.
Yeah, that was
a lucky break in essence for American Fork, as it looked like Martinez had Peck open there for a little bit.
James Bammy on the stop. Going to be 3rd and 6. And, I mean, this is an interesting point here. If you are Bingham, this could be 4-down territory. But first, we'll have 3rd. Martinez has time down the sideline. Makes a throw. Was that caught? Oh, yeah. Wow. Touchdown, Miners. What a sensational grab, Brian. When they're actually talking about it, it might have been bobbled, but at the moment, the catch is going to stand. Waiting for our friend to come over so he can give him a little bit of love on that touchdown. Looked to be number 82, though. It's also going to be the long snapper now, Brian. So what a fantastic catch by Nate Parker.
Yeah, you can see the American Fork defender saying that he was still bobbling in it. The officials shielded from the play as they're coming from the backside here, not able to get a clear view of it. Goes in the Bingham Miners' favor, and with the extra point here, Bingham bounces back following that Champion Edwards touchdown.
Parker with the toe drag swag gets it in, 21-10. Bingham in front.
College wasn't built for me.
I didn't care if I had to work a double shift.
Or if my kid had a fever.
Deadline's a deadline.
I want to set the deadlines.
I want to take tests when I'm ready.
I want to take courses on my time.
And speed up when I know my stuff.
I want a university that cares about me.
Tests on your time, courses on your time, graduate on your time. WGU, the nonprofit university of you.
Very different.
American Fork will be looking to respond. We'll see if we see Champion Edwards in a moment. But for now, 21-10, our score. I mean, American Fork's still in this, though. We talked about it. Bingham left the door open with their inability to put some points on the board in that end of the first half. So we'll see if the Cavemen can once again have a quick drive.
Well, it'll be interesting to see who they roll out there at quarterback. Traditionally, the Cavemen go with the Lincoln Jackson switch up after Champion Edwards, but with a good return happening here for American Fork, maybe you deviate a little bit from what you've done all year and try to ride Champion Edwards a little bit more.
Champion does go into the huddle, so more than likely he will be making his way out. And, you don't know. We saw it last week. We did the Tim Few game, right? We saw 2 quarterbacks in Villa and Kasuga come out for the Thunderbirds. Tonight we've already seen 3, with Champion being by far the best, at least in terms of tonight. And he'll have an opportunity to make some more plays for this team. And, when you look at a guy like Champion Edwards as well, I just think not only he's a guy who can make throws from the pocket, but we just saw on that touchdown run the last time we saw the Cavemen, which feels like it was 30 minutes ago, just a phenomenal athlete as well. But again, negative plays don't help.
Yeah, and again, that you love to see the aggression from the offensive line there for American Fork, but just hold your water, fellas. I know you've been sitting on the sideline. I know you're anxious to get this pancake cookie from JT's mom, at the end of the game. But, hold that water, stay in position over there.
We are nothing without our mom, so shout out to Kelly Wistersill. Edwards goes low, gets a few back on the quarterback run.
Yeah, and a little bit of a delay action back there, trying to maybe catch that Bingham defense sleeping. They're aware of it. And really, I think with Champion Edwards, what you want to do, get the ball in his hands, get him running downhill as quickly as you can. Don't waste time with play actions and QB draw and all that kind of thing. Just get him into space and let him work.
2nd and 12, just under 2 minutes remaining in our third quarter. Edwards looks to the outside, wide receiver screen, down the sideline, finally engulfed. Fantastic tackle by Caden McBride. Came out of nowhere to bring down Peyton Reese.
Great job by McBride breaking on the ball, and you can kind of see there one of those situations where how you're coached to run the play maybe overrides the instincts there. Is maybe he could have bounced it outside, picked up a few more yards.
Talked about American Fork, 2 dominant wins to start the season, the second one of which you were on the call for. But after that, 2 narrow victories. This one, the first one, they've been trailing going into the third quarter. Edwards, quarterback run to the outside, and fantastic effort by the Miners as they converge on him. It's going to be third down. Or excuse me, fourth. I got a little twisted up.
Yeah, very, very different series and scenario. You can see that momentum coming back for Bingham. This team plays so much better when they're fired up and rolling.
It's always interesting, right? They were working it so well early on, but then you have a negative play to start it out with the false start. Drive killers can hurt you at the end of the day. Kick is away. Peck calls for the fair catch. And Peck's got it.
Yeah, and you have to wonder, JT, if maybe the short week in terms of having a holiday on Monday is affecting both of these teams. We see a little bit of a bobble there on that. The snap a little bit high there for American Fork. Just these basic miscues that we're used to not seeing for both of these teams.
This is an American Fork team as well that went up to Idaho, played the Rigby Trojans. And those Trojans, they're one of the top teams in Idaho year in, year out, one of the premier programs. So that's a tough game. You factor in the holiday as well. A lot of factors going in as they're on the road once again. And this is a Bingham team once again that they're tired of losing.
Yeah, and they want to make a statement tonight, right?
And a great opportunity to do so as they lead one of the few remaining undefeated teams in the state. Martinez, wide receiver screen, pressure comes through. Peck able to escape it. That play looked like it was going to be nothing. Peck turns it into something.
Well, and it's just the night that Bingham's had all night long, right? A tight window throw. There are plenty of American Fork defenders around. Martinez trying to escape the rush, able to get the completion, and Peck able to get a good chunk of yards on first down there.
That is going to do it for our third quarter. Get your fours up 21-10 with 1 to play.
At UCC.
Miners over the Cavemen at the moment, 21-10, entering the fourth quarter. JT Wistersill and Brian Brown with you in what has been a thrilling matchup here at Ron Thorne Stadium. Martinez gives it to Fotu, who charges ahead before he's dropped. So Fotu continues to run tough. And Fotu, look, he's not the biggest guy. That's the one thing when you're talking about a Beckstead and an Amone as well. I think they have the kind of the size you look for. But Fotu at least doesn't, when you look at him, you're like, he's a star running back, and he absolutely is based on his play.
Yeah, 5'8", 5'9", maybe on a good day if he's wearing lifters in his shoes or maybe cowboy boots out here in Bingham. You never know. But the leg drive and the strength is really what makes him such a spectacular running back.
Trying to pad the height like he's talking to a college coach. Martinez keeps it, waiting, delivers across the middle. Great catch. First down for the Miners.
A great job by Martinez there to read the defense and see what was available. It looked like they were trying to get Peck on some cross action as Sudbury and Fotu run towards the far side of the field, and he's able to read the defense and find his tight end there for the completion in the first down.
Once again, that was Nate Parker. The man last time we saw him secured a touchdown. Miners waste no time. Give it to Sudbury. And he's dropped. Fantastic play for the Cavemen by Cale Burrows.
Yeah, Burrows coming upfield fast and furious from his linebacker position. Dom Toretto would be proud of that tackle.
What's the thing you call it? The button they hit? The extra juice? You know what I'm talking about?
NOS.
The NOS,
He
yes.
hit the NOS on that one.
He hit the NOS on that one. Huge play for the Cavemen, so 2nd and 12. We talked about already, this Bingham team, hey, they're totally content just running out the clock, trying to grind out this ring. I mean, they're up by a score, and then more than a field goal. So Martinez drops back, gets out of a few tackles, and has dropped out of bounds. That was close, but not going to see a flag. I agree with the call, Brian.
Yeah, it's a real tough scenario there, JT, because you're seeing that, there is a lot of grabbing and holding and everything else going on across the board over here. So if you've got a questionable call right there, really tough to throw the flag if you're an official after you're letting so much else go uncalled.
Even if you're going to hear it because of the stadium we're in, right decision. 9:58 to go. See if Clegg can get home and make another play. It's a Miners team that had some punting struggles in the first half. High snap, unable to handle one. Gave American Fork short field position. They weren't able to do anything with it. They'll try to now on 3rd and 12. Martinez, they set up the screen. Fotu goes high. What a play by Fotu. Hashtag rewind top 5. Fotu with the hurdle.
Yeah, a super athletic play from Fotu, as we talked about. He has so many tools in his tool belt. Makes the great highlight hurdle, able to get a few extra yards. It does look like it's not going to be enough for the first down, though.
Offense is going to stay on the field at the moment, but let's talk about that one play last time. Can you say bunnies, Brian Brown?
Oh, boy. The kind of hops that I could only dream of or find in maybe an adult beverage, JT.
I would need a trampoline to do it. I know that.
You and me both.
Yeah, 4th and 4. Offense on the field. They'll snap it. Give it to Peck. Peck, one man to beat, and he's going to be dropped. That is a fantastic tackle for the Cavemen. On the huge stop is Davis Andrews, the defensive back.
Yeah,
what a play.
And just an incredible play by Davis Andrews, and he is a highly rated, highly touted player. And you can see why right there. He's in position, stays true to his technique, able to wrap up Peck, not only for the loss, but even more importantly, for the turnover on downs. And now that's a huge opportunity for this Caveman offense, who will get the ball with excellent field position.
Excellent field position indeed. Champion Edwards now making his way back out. And do you think the process in going for it on 4th down there at that midfield area is because you're trying to keep a guy like Champion who can score in the blink of an eye off the field?
Yeah, and they've just been excellent on 4th down all season long. You kind of expected them to convert there, and then I didn't even second guess the decision at the time. Now,
Champion picked. What a play. McBride crosses all the way over the field. He crossed the 40, dragged down. I think that was a face mask. Maybe not. It didn't get thrown, but either way, what a job by McBride. Picks off Edwards on the first throw.
Yeah, McBride covers most of the 50-yard width of the field on that return, but Edwards gets outside the pocket. One of the first real, deep throws that we've seen. McBride reads it perfectly, steps in front of it, able to flip the sticks in the Bingham Miners' favor, and you can see that sideline is absolutely fired up right now.
What an eventful fourth quarter, and if American Fork's not able to complete a comeback, this is what they're going to look back at. Missed opportunities. You get it inside the 30 off a short punt. You have to settle for a field goal. Then you get a blocked punt as well. You can't do anything with it. Right there, huge fourth down stop. All the momentum swings at midfield. Still nothing. Martinez gets it over to Fotu. And a near first down for the Miners. Fotu with a strong run. Great blocking as well.
Yeah, and you're seeing Bingham take advantage of that aggressive caveman defense right now, trying to work the screen game in their favor, able to pick up those big chunks of yardage and get the ball moving south for this offense. And really, this is a critical series for Bingham. They need to get points at some point because you know that American Fork is going to come out with about 8 minutes left and try and get the ball down the field quickly.
Second and short, 8:43 to go. Martinez will drop back. Pressure in his face, buying time, throws, nearly caught by Peck. Another flag. Looks like we're going to get pass interference. That was a late flag too, Brian.
Yeah, and there's a lot of action going on there. I think the bigger story for me is you see the pressure and Martinez kind of trying to avoid it, throws a little bit off of his back foot, not really solid on his platform, as we'd like to talk about it. So very tough ball for the receiver to reel in regardless. And, for everything that they've let go all game, JT, I have a real hard time seeing that call be made.
Yeah. Tough break for the Cavemen. Great break for the Miners, honestly, as they get another drive extended. We've seen a number of turnover-worthy throws tonight. Martinez, as well as a slew of AF quarterbacks, taking some risks. Martinez. Fotu follows his blockers, tiptoes down the sideline. Oh, nearly able to stay in, but just stepped out.
It's now the third time that we've seen that running back screen here to the right side of that American Fork defense, trying to take advantage of where American Fork is lining Hunter Clegg up and running away from him, right? And everything they can do to do that. Fotu not able to tightrope it, but still gets them down on the 10-yard line here.
Martinez, we've seen Bingham go pass happy here. A little surprising as they've utilized the screen game. They'll check it down once again. Fotu, man in front of him. And another strong gain.
Yeah, and they've locked in on something over here where they're trying to work that right side of the defense from American Fork. Get out in the flat. Let your athletes get out in space and create something.
That athlete being Fotu this drive. We'll see if they look to him again. You see him lined up just off the tight end to the bottom of your screen. 8:22 left. 3rd and 2. Give it to Sudbury. He charges forward, trying to reach the end zone. Strong push by American Fork, but first down Miners.
Yeah, and that was a critical first down as it was 3rd and short still. So now they'll have the ball 1st and goal to go here on about the 2 or 3 yard line. But a great job by Bingham, able to open up a crease. It was an aggressive charge by the Caveman front, and they were able to sneak Sudbury inside. And, if it wasn't for some great assisting there from the Caveman Divas, he might have smelled pay dirt.
Martinez charging forward. Did he get in? He's got it. Touchdown Miners.
And Martinez fired up coming off of that QB sneak. It was a great drive from Bingham from start to finish. Able to work the sideline and work their way down the field. Punches it in the end zone with a giant exclamation point as the Miners find pay dirt.
Martinez' 2nd rushing touchdown of the game gives his team a 17-point lead and make it an 18. Extra point is good from Frankham. Bingham ahead with 7:46 to go in our game on KSL Sports Rewind.
At UCCU.
Back here inside Ron Thorne Stadium, where the Bingham Miners have taken an 18-point lead, 28-10. Still got a little over halfway to go in this fourth quarter. You know, we've seen a lot of crazy things happen in the high school football team this season, and this is already an AF team we've seen score in under 2 minutes, so still a lot of time left, Brian.
Oh, absolutely. And the way offenses roll nowadays, there's no time is too short to try and get a touchdown.
You called this American Fork team earlier in the season when they had a lot of success taking on Weber. They won that one 48-22. What's been the biggest difference in your opinion tonight?
Well, it's been the struggles at the quarterback position, JT, and earlier in the season they were established. When I watched them at Weber, they were able to establish the run game and really haven't been able to do this. This American Fork offense rides or dies in the run game, and they have playmakers on the edge. And we talked about Trey Roberts a lot. You know, Watts, the running back, can work in a variety of angles. You know, we haven't seen Aiden Cage tonight. He's another dynamite player, but they have to get something going from the QB position.
Edwards looking all the way to Roberts, lofting it up, giving a chance to make a play, and just like so many times tonight, just short, or in that case, just too far, but so close to making a play.
Yeah, just one of those throws that you want to take your time and really make sure that you get the accuracy and the touchdown on. A little bit of pressing here from the American Fork offense.
Roberts has been held relatively in check overall tonight. A pass interference earlier he generated for himself, and since then, and even now, you can see they're double teaming Roberts up top.
Yeah, bracket coverage there.
This time they'll give it. Strong second down run that'll go just short of a first down for the Cavemen.
Yeah, and with 7 minutes and 30 seconds left, JT, you've got plenty of time to run the ball. You know, and Watts, like I said, a very talented running back. One of those guys that you look at the numbers, 6'1", 205 according to the roster. That's a big back, and you can see that even when he gets in the second level, he still has a bit of burst to him.
Third and short, we'll see if they go with him here. Edwards gives it to him, chugs ahead, tough running by Watts. He's got the first.
What I love about Watts is it's the yards after contact. He hits the initial defender. He's already past the sticks, keeps the leg driving, gets another extra 5-6 yards, makes that short yardage call even more beneficial. And now American Fork's got a new series of downs and something going.
Roberts, bottom of your screen. Edwards, miscommunication, we've seen it a couple times now, Brian, just not on the same page.
Yeah, you're seeing Edwards just dropping back and throwing it immediately, and I'm not sure what the difference in the communication is out there, what Edwards is seeing versus the wide receiver, but they're trying to work those corners from Bingham, and they're trying to get something going on the outside. Meantime, they've had a lot of success in the run game. Keep churning those yards, wear down this defense a little bit, and then wait for that opportunity to open up.
It's the hard part, trying to balance that clock. 6:36 to go with the run game. We'll see how the Cavemen try to do so. Edwards looks over. Roberts has space, makes a move, and gets out of bounds. Fantastic tackle for the Miners, wasting no time. Making the stop is Owen House.
Yeah, great job. Closes quickly from that safety position. He knows what's going on. They're trying to get Roberts out there in space and let his athleticism work. Bingham does a great job of closing it down. And now we're going to see third and long here from the American Fork. I don't know what the play call is here, JT. It's been rough for the quarterback position all night long.
You can see the Miners as well, especially up to the top, playing off those receivers. Sets up a wide receiver screen. Charging forward for a first down and getting a few extra after it is Peyton Reese.
Yeah, and honestly, a great call there. You changed it up. Previous on the screen, you were throwing to Roberts. This time you throw it to Reese. He's able to wiggle up inside and get a big gain for a first down. Critical conversion there for this American Fork offense.
And I understand you would want to protect the chains, but I'm a little surprised, Brian, to see just how far off the Miners played there.
Yeah, I think some of it is just the concern with that trips formation about which direction those guys are going to go on the routes. You're trying to allow some space for your defenders to read what's going on.
Watts dragged down.
And great job by that Bingham defensive front to get in the backfield, especially big number 70 there.
Yeah, Dylan Finley doing a great job. Miners have been strong all night. That bend, don't break mentality, as we've seen American Fork have some opportunities, get in good positions, but at the end of the day, the Miners have come up time and time again, just dipped under 5 minutes remaining. Edwards being chased, was nearly dragged down, but instead will turn into a positive game. A fantastic effort by McBride, but in the end, the speed of Edwards paid off.
Yeah, Edwards just an absolutely explosive athlete. You can see the confidence he has in himself running the football there, as doesn't even hesitate, just basically tucks the ball and gets upfield, not even looking downfield to try and find a receiver to throw to on that one.
All that in a gain of about 1, so it's third. Actually, not even. That's 3rd and 10 from where he ran out of bounds. Champion going to have to make like one here if he wants to get his team out of the dire circumstances.
Diamond formation up top. Bad snap.
Yeah, I was about to call it out too, Brian. There was a diamond formation, but in a play that pretty much encompasses the night for the Cavemen, things just don't go to plan.
Yeah, and it's just your heart aches for these kids because, you know, you want to see them be successful and just, not, like you said, nothing going right, especially on the offensive side of the ball for American Fork tonight.
4th and 19, got to have it if you want to have any shot.
4 minutes left. You kind of have to go for this one here.
Play clock at 5. Another low snap, and it's just picked up by Edwards, and it's once again just another mistake.
Yeah, and you can see Edwards. He knows the criticalness of this play, and he's trying to pick up the ball and trying to make a play and trying to keep him in it, and it's just not able to convert. Again, like we talked about all night, it just seems like the ball has always been bouncing right outside the reach of the American Fork players tonight.
This will actually tie the Miners' lowest scoring output of the season, but it will result in their first win since they left the state of Utah when they went and played in Nevada, getting a win. Their other 2 wins in dominating fashion. This one by 18 points, so still a strong-handed win, especially coming off games against, as you already talked about, 2 top 5 teams in the state. What a performance by Bingham.
Yeah. And they're really in a position of advantage here with the ball. Less than 4 minutes left.
They give it to Fotu. Fotu charges ahead. Fotu, green grass in front of him. He'll cross the 10. A couple bearing down, and he's dragged down. And that ball might have been punched out as well. What a fantastic effort by the Cavemen. They did not give up on the play.
Yeah, I lost Fotu completely as a ball carrier in there in the mix, and it does look like American Fork has recovered. What a huge turnaround for the American Fork Cavemen.
Talk about nailing a coffin. That's what Fotu was 5 yards away from doing. Instead, fantastic effort by the Cavemen to punch it out. American Fork has the slightest of pulse still left. 18 points is a lot, but when you make plays like that, anything is possible.
Yeah, you just love the fight and the competitiveness up to it. You nailed it, JT, initially. It was a great play by the Bingham Miners. Fotu kind of hiding in there, finds the crease, bursts through the line, and it looked like he was going for pay dirt. But that American Fork defense fighting, doing everything they can to stay in this game, able to create the turnover. And now we'll see how this offense operates from deep in their own end zone, in essence.
Champion under center. Charges forward. Gain of about a yard, maybe 2. Just trying to get some room to work with here and not able to get much, maybe a yard.
Yeah, with this offense and how much they run in terms of backfield action out of the pistol and shotgun formation, I like the call. Just give yourself a little bit more space to operate with, and even more so, settle the nerves of your quarterback. Let him take a little contact and get some easy yards so that you can keep operating.
Edwards with just over 3 minutes remaining. Tough run up the gut by Eaterly.
And that's that three-headed monster that I saw from American Fork early on in the season, where you have Watts and Segura, and then a nice little change of pace. Now you're looking at 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7.
Champion and look to the wide receiver screen, and it's going to be a first down for American Fork as they chug along. Miners combined for the tackle, 2:30 remaining.
Yeah, and that's really been the bread and butter of this offense in the second half, is that wide receiver screen. I don't know how much you can keep going to it here, JT, but so far, keep after it.
Cavemen utilizing the tempo. They'll give it once again to Eaterly, and a fantastic tackle made. Just able to grab on and hold on was McBride.
And I believe Segura, the ball carrier on that, you can see him getting a big gain on first down as that clock winds down. We're to the 2-minute mark now. American Fork does need to pick up the pace a little bit.
Cavemen could use a 2-minute warning, but not in the high school level, of course. They'll give it again. Green grass in front of and another late flag comes on as well, but that was a strong run by your guy, Segura.
Yeah, big explosive play there, and you can see the Cavemen going back to the run game here, faking the wide receiver screen, keeping the defense off balance. We're going to wait for the penalty flag here, but it looks like it may be moving the Cavemen back, maybe a hold or a block in the back on that one.
Yeah, figuring out what the issue is. You know, the Cavemen starting to move the ball, but it is just too little, too late. Unfortunately, they will suffer the first loss, go to 4-1 on the season, while the Miners come out with a winning record. 3-1, set them. Excuse me, they'll go 3-2, set themselves up as they're preparing to enter region play, and it's actually going to be a penalty on American Fork. And you know, American Fork, they got a tough test next week. They got Corner Canyon coming up, a team this Bingham Miners team knows all too well, and Bingham gets to stay home for the fourth week in a row actually as they host the Mustangs.
Yeah, and look, you know, if you're American Fork right now, there is still 1:40 on the board here. You're doing everything you can to try and get on track because, like you said, JT, there is a long, long region road ahead for them.
Region 4, the toughest in the state, awaiting. Champion going to Roberts on the outside. Roberts cuts it back in. It is met by a slew of Miners who say, hey, you got a friend in me.
Yeah, and again, going to the wide receiver screen there. You know, as I'm trying to do my best, Buzz Lightyear and send Trey Roberts to infinity and beyond.
Yeah, that's where Edwards launches this ball, and just to the outstretched hands of his intended receiver in cage.
Again, Edwards, you know, with those sideline throws, just reaching back and ripping it out there. Want to see a little bit more touch from him on those. You know, he's done a great job with the wide receiver screen. But that clock right now, the enemy for the Cavemen, and you're seeing Bingham very content to just let them have those short yardage.
Edwards over the middle, nearly caught by Andrus, but just misses him. And Andrus is the guy, Josh Andrus, we haven't been able to call his game tonight. He's one of the top tight ends in the state. I really love what he does in the run game, and especially the pass game too. But you talked about the struggles with the quarterback, and of course when those guys struggle, Andrus isn't going to get that kind of production.
Yeah, and the biggest part about it, especially at the high school level, when you're at a quarterback position, you need to find that rhythm, right? And we've seen that completely disrupted all game. They've tried to ride Edwards a little bit here later in the game. You hope he settles down at some point, but just not able to complete the ball to Andrus.
Champion looks to the outside. Roberts, fantastic move to nearly break the tackle and stay in bounds, showing off what makes him such a phenomenal route runner, but a fantastic tackle as well.
Yeah, you see Roberts trying to make a play there. Unfortunately, stays in bounds. That clock is going to tick. That's a killer decision right there. If you can, try and get out of bounds and get that clock stopped. Save yourself. Give yourself a chance.
What a great tackle by Tanoi Vahaikiatia. Champion Looks to Roberts, almost picked off once again. Clock will stop with 36 seconds left. So it falls incomplete, and that, of course, was 4th down, so we'll switch it back over, and it just ends a frustrating night for the Cavemen's offense.
Yeah, very much so, JT. Just never able to get going on the things that they do so well, especially rushing the football. All credit goes to this Bingham Minor defense. A great bounce-back performance after a really tough game against Timpview last week.
The Cavemen, of course, the first to discover the wheel. They'll look to rediscover their offense next week when they take on Corner Canyon, and what should be a fun matchup.
Yeah, we're getting right into the heart of the schedule for the season, and you're seeing that the cream is starting to rise in terms of the best teams in the state, and I think you still have to consider Bingham as one of those teams.
Corner Canyon get an impressive win versus Lehigh tonight, 24-16. So actually, 4th quarter is still underway, so shouldn't count the chickens before they hatch. But either way, looks like one of the premier teams in 6A set to knock off the defending champion for 5A, the Lehigh Pioneers. Pioneers hadn't lost since that championship game as well. Still the class of 5A, but you can just see what makes those Corner Canyon Charge, Coach Kerr's team, so special.
Yeah, and you see Bingham putting the 2s in there as McCoy Aono gets the handoff there, able to pick up a few yards. But, this, we talked about, JT, there are so much talent in this state, and through the course of a season as the clock runs out here, you can't count out either of these teams moving forward. As great as Corner Canyon and Lehigh have been all season long, it's still a long stretch of games, and we're seeing a lot of growth and progress out of this Bingham Minor squad in just a week's time.
Fantastic game on hand we just got through with Bingham able to come out on top, a Miners team able to get back in the winning column after tough games against Skyridge and, against Corner Canyon and Timpview alike. This is an American Fork team that will get their first loss of the season, but still impressive wins against West, as well as one of the best teams in Idaho. So both set up for that future success. But when you're talking about these Miners, what stands out most about today's win?
Well, it was just the attitude, really, and they stepped out from the very beginning, set the tone, marched down the field against a very tough American Fork defense, and you saw them just do everything they could to try and keep Hunter Clegg in check. We saw some great plays by Davis Andrews tonight on the defensive side of the football. But really what it is it's the growth of this Bingham Minor defense that stands out to me, to hold a respectable American Fork offense to just 10 points. Kudos to that Bingham Minor defense.
See the Miners fired up. They're running downfield. And this American Fork team, how do you feel like they'll be going forward, especially with the offensive issues we saw tonight?
Well, it's a really tough loss going into the region play now, and you have to do a bit of soul searching, I think, if you're American Fork, and really figure out, when we talk about it, it's really difficult to run 2 quarterbacks, and I think tonight was the night where it caught up with American Fork finally. So you have to make some decisions. I think you have to really focus up, because the rest of the schedule moving forward is just absolutely daunting for American Fork.
Congrats to head coach Eric Jones and the Bingham Miners on their first home win of the 2022 season. Quarterback Dallin Martinez had 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 throwing touchdown, that going to Maddox Peck, Carson Sudbury, and of course, Havea Fotu, phenomenal on the defensive side of the ball. Brian, who would you go with as your MVP?
Yeah, I'm going to go with, on the defensive side of the football, I'm going to have to go with...
Ben
Latai, yeah, for sure. Sorry about that. Gets a little dark up here when we're, we don't have a lit booth up here. But Latai was phenomenal. We saw the strip sack. He was able to put pressure on Story all night long, forced them to go to Lincoln Jackson. Lincoln Jackson not able to get it done. Finally, Champion Edwards steps in, able to get a touchdown on the board using his legs. But Latai was phenomenal. His senior leadership was great. I think McBride did a great job as well. But Latai really making those plays in the first half that allowed Bingham to extend their lead.
Bingham controls the trenches and the ground game because of it, as they get the 28-10 win over the American Fork Cavemen. For Tino, our great cameraman, Brian Brown as well, I'm JT Wistersill signing off. Have a great night, everyone.